Hello everyone, I'm Mini Maestro, and welcome to the 200 subscriber special. Now this was going to be something determined by you guys, by me asking you guys to tell me whether you guys preferred D&D or glitch text to determine what this would be, but no one responded, so I decided to go with D&D as a safe bet. So, for those of you who may or may be a bit confused, which I'm assuming is all of you, here is how this quirk is going to work in its base form. As in, before One for All. So whenever Deku tries to do something that he has a chance of not succeeding at, he's going to see the outline of a d20 with the numbers roll in front of him. It determines whether or not he succeeds in doing it, just like D&D. So for example, if he was passing a dish, he wouldn't need to roll, but if he were holding it in one hand for an extended period of time, he would need to roll Constitution to determine whether or not the pain would be too much, resulting in him dropping it. Also, whenever he attacks, damage is rolled with the various dice. He will have stats. They will be organized by standard point array for simplicity's sake. The enhancements from One for All? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. His stats are going to start off with his highest stat as Intelligence, putting it at 15. Next is Constitution at 14. Then we'll have Wisdom at 13, Dexterity at 12, and Strength at 10. And yeah, his dump stat is Charisma. Of course, all the stats are subject to change. For example, his stats as a child are different than as when the anime starts, which is the time these stats are taken from. The last part is that he can heal from any injury at 100%, including broken bones, literally overnight. And with the exceptions of occasional fudges, I'm going to actually roll with an online roller, if not actual dice. So, let's get into this. Deku was in the playground when he saw Bakugo bullying a kid. Deku started running and got between them. "Stop it, Kachan!" "Make me, Deku! What could you do with that useless quirk of yours? What's it called again?" "Dice!" "Yeah, whatever, it's useless." Bakugo's hand started sparking with small explosions. A d20 appeared in Deku's vision. 19. A -5 appeared and turned the 19 into a 14. A 12 appeared next to the 14. Deku won the initiative roll. He charged towards Bakugo and went for a punch. The d20 rolled again. Nat 1. Bakugo stepped out of the way easily and tripped Deku, who then fell to the ground. Bakugo threw an explosion down. The d20 rolled and landed on a 15, which was changed to a 10. Words appeared. Save passed. Damage halved. Deku tried to roll out of the way, but still got caught in the explosion a bit. 2 d20s rolled, 2 and a 1. They combined to a 3, then changed to a 2. Deku got up. "Stop it, Kachan! You shouldn't pick on someone just because they're weaker than you!" Deku went to punch again. A 10. It changed to a 5, and he almost got Bakugo, but still missed. Bakugo punched in retaliation. Deku tried to dodge, but it got him. Deku went unconscious. "See, there are some worthless quirks, but Deku's is the most useless of all." As Deku's vision began to fade, something weird happened. It went all black. The words "death save" appeared. What is this?" Deku asked in his mind. A d20 appeared and rolled. A 3. Words appeared. First death save. Failed. "What?" The d20 rolled again. A 4. Second death save. Second fail. "Wait!" It rolled again. 16. Third death save. Success. "Am I going to die?" Fourth death save. Second success. It rolled one more time. 14. The words changed to third success. Now stable. And everything went dark. A while later, Deku woke up in the hospital. "He's awake," one of the doctors said. Inko rushed over and hugged Deku. You're okay. What happened? Kachan was hurting another kid. I couldn't just let him. I know you couldn't. Inko hugged Deku. Mommy? Yes, Izuku? Can I really be a hero? I tried to help, but I couldn't do anything. I don't know, Izuku. Deku went on and eventually discovered D&D, which he got instantly hooked on because of how much playing it was like his quirk. He plays in a group with, let's say, Mineta and Tokoyami. Everyone else in the group isn't important. At the beginning of the anime, Deku pretty much knows everything about D&D. But I am going to say that D&D was created much later. How much later? To the point where what we have is the same as what Deku has. So, Deku is in class. The teacher comes out to the front. It's your 3rd year of middle school, so it's time to start seriously thinking about your futures. I could pass out career aptitude tests. But why bother? I know you're all going to the hero track. Everyone started excitedly using their quirks, although the teacher quickly shut them down, reminding them that quirk usage wasn't allowed at school. Bakugo then proceeded to proclaim that he's the best and the fact that he's going to UA. Oh yeah, Midoriya, you wanted to go to UA too, right? Everyone turned to Deku and started laughing. His quirk is known for being, when you really think about it, not changing that much. My stats can be increased. My quirk isn't all useless. Bakugo slammed an explosion on Deku's desk, and the whole thing that happened in canon happens again. Deku is walking home and walks under the bridge when he hears something behind him. He turns around and sees the sludge villain coming out of the grate. Deku was frozen in fear. Give me your body, kid! I didn't know the freak was here! The sludge villain charged forward. Dexterity save. The d20 rolled. 19. A 1 was added and it turned into a 20. Deku jumped out of the way. Initiative was rolled. Deku watched as he got a 7 and it turned into an 8. The sludge villain lunged again. A 3, which turned into a 4. The words save failed appeared. Deku got caught. You're a slippery kid, but I got you now! Deku started trying to claw his way out. I need to stay calm, Deku thought. My constitution modifier is a 2, meaning I can hold my breath for 3 minutes and survive for 12 seconds after that. I have that long to claw my way out. A strength save rolled. 4. Save failed. Okay, 1 failed save. Doesn't matter. I still have a lot of chances. 32 chances. He can't really do anything. Deku started to feel the air forced out of his lungs. Wait, what? Deku tried to get out of it again. 13. Save failed. Deku felt the last of the air pushed out of his lungs. Crap, I only have 12 seconds. Deku clawed again. 19. Save passed. Deku pushed himself out, but his hands and lower body were still being held by the villain. He started coughing up sludge. Hey, how did you get out? All Might then appeared with a hearty laughter. Fear not, for I am here. All Might charged forward and pulled Deku out of the sludge villain. He then Texas smashed the villain, spraying him everywhere. He set Deku down. Are you okay, young man? Deku started fanboying. All Might, it's actually you! You saved me! All in a day's work for a hero. Could you sign my notebook? Gladly! All Might took the notebook and signed it. As Deku helped All Might with putting the sludge villain into the bottle, he asked All Might a lot of questions. Questions like what the most important trait for a hero was, and what it was like being the symbol of peace. After they cleaned up, All Might realized that he was running out of time. Well, I'm off. Wait, All Might, there's still one more thing I need to ask! I'm sorry, young man, but I really need to go. Wait! All Might took off and Deku grabbed on. Midway through the jump, All Might realized that Deku was still holding on. When they landed, Deku apologized. It's just... there was still one more thing I needed to ask you. All Might began to produce steam. My quirk isn't very powerful, but I still want to become a hero. So I wanted to ask, can I still be a hero like you? The steam dissipated and All Might's weak form was revealed. Deku screamed. You're not All Might! Who are you? I assure you, I am All Might was cut off by the blood coming from his mouth. Deku made an investigation check to see if he was telling the truth. He rolled a 4. A 2 was added, totaling for a 6. He couldn't tell. All Might explained the sucking in the gut thing and his injury. I apologize, but to answer your question, I must reply with the second. What is your quirk? Oh, well, you know the game Dungeons and Dragons? You mean with the dice? Yeah, well, my quirk is called dice, and it basically makes it so I need to roll to do anything I have a chance of not succeeding at. I have stats, and they can change over time. I can also heal from any injury overnight, but after today, I think I might be able to resist certain quirks because I was almost able to pull myself out of that villain. Well, that's an interesting quirk. I think that although it will be especially difficult for you, anyone can become a hero. How are the stats laid out? My intelligence is a 15, my constitution is 14, wisdom at 13, dexterity at 12, strength at 10, and my charisma is 8. Different stats than most RPGs. Well, Dungeons & Dragons isn't like most RPGs. The way the attacking system works is that you roll and whatever modifier for that specific attack, usually strength, and then if it's equal to or higher than the opponent's armor class, it hits, and you roll for damage. What's your armor class? 11, currently. Is that good? It's about average for when you're not wearing armor. Well, All Might stood up and started heading towards the door. Good luck. An explosion was heard in the distance. All Might checked his pocket. The sludge villain was gone. Crap! The bottle must have fallen out of my pocket during the jump. Oh no! It's my fault! Deku panicked. No, it's not, young man. It would have fallen out anyway. Deku and All Might started running towards the explosion. When they got there, they heard that the villain had a hostage, and Deku saw it was Bakugo. Kachan! What are you doing, kid? Deku started running without even thinking. He threw his backpack at the villain's face. The D20 appeared. 16. The backpack rammed into the sludge villain's face. The word stunned appeared in front of Deku. Deku started to pull Bakugo out. What are you doing, Deku? I don't know. My body just started moving on its own. 2 D20s appeared. He had advantage since Bakugo was trying to get out. 3 and a 14. They took the 14 and the words appeared. Save failed. I couldn't just let you die. The D20s rolled again. 2 and a 12. Still not good enough. The sludge villain got ready to clobber Deku, but All Might jumped in and stopped it. With a hearty laugh, he cried, I am here! He pulled Bakugo out of the sludge villain, and Texas smashed the sludge villain, changing the weather. Deku was berated for rushing in, and Bakugo was praised like canon. As Deku was walking home, All Might appeared. I'm sorry, All Might. I know what I did was incredibly reckless. You're right. It was reckless. But it was also incredibly brave. Deku looked up. There are stories of every famous hero. How they became great. They all have one thing in common. Their bodies moved before they even had a chance to think. Young man, you too can become a hero. Deku began to cry. Now, I deem you worthy of inheriting my quirk. Deku stopped crying and was just confused. All Might then explained one for all. The next day, Deku was pulling a fridge on the beach with All Might sitting on top of it. I must admit, young Midoriya, you're doing much better than I expected. Deku looked up. My quirk doesn't use encumbrance rules, so even if it's heavier than my capacity, I can still move at 5 feet every 6 seconds. A D20 rolled. 7. Save failed. Deku fell down, losing his grip on the ropes. Why am I doing this anyway? It's because you're not a proper vessel. Deku looked up. What you're saying now is the opposite of what you said before. Because of the great power of One for All, an unprepared body cannot inherit it. Your limbs would come off and your body would explode. What? Deku thought for a moment. It actually makes a lot of sense if you applied D&D's multiclassing rules to it, which would make sense given my quirk. My strength stat would need to be at least 13. Currently, my strength is only 10. All Might then explained the other purpose of this particular training and gave Deku the aim to pass American Dream Plan. Deku did explain to Tokoyami and Mineta that he wouldn't be able to do sessions anymore because of his training, and they decided that they would train as well. 10 months later, but one day earlier than canon, and in the evening, All Might came and saw Deku yelling on top of a garbage pile. All Might was stunned to see how much of the beach was cleaned. The D20 rolled, 16 with a total of 18. Con save passed. Deku almost fell, but stayed up. Deku came down exhausted, and All Might pulled up the picture of when Deku started. Take a look. It's you, 10 months ago. You did good. You really did. Now, you are a vessel ready to take in my power. All Might plucked a hair from his head. Now, eat this! Deku was feeling confused, concerned, and slightly scared. After he ate the hair, he and All Might sat down while they waited for One For All to transfer. Eventually, All Might started up some conversation. So, how do you think One For All will enhance your quirk? It does that? Yeah, it does. Well, I'm not sure how it would be enhanced. It doesn't seem like something that can be weaker or stronger. It's mostly dependent on my physical and mental state. I guess we'll see how it gets enhanced. A few minutes later, something odd happened. In front of Deku, where the dice normally appeared, something happened. Words at the top of his vision spelled out Select Race. What? What is it, young Midoriya? So I'm seeing this thing. It's like a character creator. It's asking me to select a race. Deku looked at the list. It was entirely up to date. Every player race in D&D was an option. Must be the enhancements from One For All. I should probably play it safe and pick human. We have no idea if something else would cause issues with my health. Deku picked variant human. The screen changed, asking for where he wanted his stat bonuses to go. Deku thought, I can change my stats manually by working, so I should probably put my ability score increases into the stats that are harder to change. He put the ability score increases into wisdom and dexterity. Then it asked for what his proficiency was. He chose insight, and then for the feat. There were a lot of feats. He chose the quick-fingered feat for the dexterity increase. Then it asked for a background. He saw the make a background option. He pressed it. He chose perception and acrobatics for his skill proficiencies, and a dice set and navigator's tools for his tool proficiencies. It then asked Deku to select his class. He chose monk. It asked him for the artisan's tools and instrument he wanted to be proficient in. He chose jeweler's tools and a dulcimer for his instrument. For his last proficiencies, he chose stealth and athletics. It then had him choose his equipment. He chose a short sword and an explorer's pack. As soon as he finished, his body glowed. When it disappeared, he was holding a short sword with an explorer's pack by his side. Well, it appears that your first quirk can get stronger. Now, let's try One For All. All Might tells Deku how to use it and tells him to fire a punch towards the ocean. Deku gets ready for a punch. When he activates One For All, he sees his hard stats, strength, dexterity, and constitution, get a major boost. How major? All of them are increased by 400, meaning each of their modifiers are increased by 200. He then notices that many other things have increased, like his jump distance and speed. He throws the punch, and the ocean parts for miles. Deku is astonished, but only for a second. Afterwards, he realizes that his arm is in a huge amount of pain. He looks down and sees that it's broken. His stats are back to normal. When he gets home, Inko questions his broken arm, but Deku tells her that everything is fine and it'll be good in the morning. She's still nervous. The next day, Deku is heading to the UA entrance exam. He has his sword in his sheath Inko grabbed for him. He has plans on selling the contents of the explorer's pack at a pawn shop or something. The D20 appeared. Crap! Deku thought. What's going to happen? The D20 rolled. A 4. A 4 was added to the roll, an 8. Dexterity save failed. Deku tripped. How did I just trip? People don't just trip over themselves. Deku then realized he wasn't falling. Sorry for using my quirk on you, but I figured you wouldn't mind. That interaction goes the same as canon, as well as the introduction to how the exam works. He still gets called out by Ida for the muttering. Deku is waiting for the exam to start. He sees Uraraka and walks over to her to thank her for earlier, but Ida stops him. President Mike yells, "Go, go, go! There are no countdowns in a real battle!" Deku ran. The D4 rolled. 2. The 2 from his dex mod was added for 4 damage. The robot looked at him. Crap! A laser shot through the robot. Deku turned and saw Oyama. Deku ran for cover. I should have picked fighter. I would have been able to specialize in my strength more, and I would have had second wind. I forgot how squishy monks are at level 1. If I had more time to train, then I could have leveled up, and monk would actually have been a good choice. I still need points. I should wait to find robots that are on low health and ambush them. It's a bit cheeky, but it's my only move. Deku charged out and looked around. He saw a student struggling with a 2-pointer, but it was almost down. Deku charged in and slashed, getting advantage from the surprise attack. 16 and a 15. The 16 was taken and a 2 was added for a total of 18. My short sword is 1d6 plus my dex mod. The d6 rolled. 5 plus 2, 7 damage. The robot was destroyed. Deku saw a heavily damaged 3-pointer. The person it was fighting must have retreated. Deku charged and caught it by surprise. He got a nat 20. Critical slash! Deku yelled as he sliced the robot. Critical's double damage dice, so that should do 2d6 damage plus dex. The total was 11 damage. The 3-pointer slid apart. Words appeared. Level up. 2 options showed up. Level in new class and level in monk. Deku decided to take the level in monk due to how useful Ki would be. He rolled for his health boost, deciding it would be worth the risk. The D8 rolled. 4. He should have taken the automatic. The ground started to rumble. Deku looked and saw the 0-pointer. Deku sheathed his sword and, like all the others, began to run until he heard a scream. Deku turned around and saw Uraraka. He started running, burning his key points to go even faster. When he gets in range, he activates One for All in his legs and jumps high into the air, and Detroit smashes the robot, destroying it. He then realizes what just happened. Both his legs and his right arm were broken. There's no way I'll survive all that falling damage. I'll need to break my other arm to soften my fall. Deku prepared to break his arm, but felt a slap across his face. He quickly realized he was no longer falling. He looked over to Uraraka. She put her hands together, and Deku fell, taking 2d6 falling damage. He started crawling and watching the XP increase all the way from 450 to 15,450. He got a few level ups, getting him all the way to level 6. His arms were still broken, though. A d20 rolled. Constitution save. 14. He passed out. He passed. Recovery girl walked up to him and healed him. 2d10 rolled. 6. Deku's arm and leg healed, but Deku took a few levels of exhaustion, resulting in Deku learning the side effects of her quirk much earlier. A few weeks later, Deku gets his letter. Deku found that he passed at 68 points. He cried tears of joy. Welcome, young man, to your Hero Academia. Okay, everyone, that was part 1 of What If Deku Had D&D for a Quirk and our 200 subscriber special. I'm sorry if it was a bit rushed at the end. It's a bit longer than I intended. I hope you enjoyed it. 5 likes for part 2. Until next time, Mabuhay! Mabuba!